Hello everybody. So I've been out of it for quite a while. I had an unexpected very long vacation. And to get back into the whole particle thing, I decided to make a very simple effect and why not record it? And basically I want to do something a little bit different. I want to use only very simple meshes. I don't want to use any textures or use Photoshop to make those textures. So basically only some math inside the shaders. I want to use simple materials and focus mainly on animation. There are a few things I already kind of know what I want to do. I want to make a very basic gem like rock thing. Comes from the sky, hits the floor, then maybe some breakage, some smoke kind of thing, and make it very stylized because I can't use any real textures. So very simple materials. And that's basically it, and I'm just gonna go with the flow and we'll see how it ends and if I even upload this video. Depends on if I finish it or not. So let me turn off the camera because my face is not that important. There we go, and I'm just gonna go with the flow. Occasionally I might talk, maybe not. Depends a bit on my mood, I guess. So it's going. I know I want a very simple gem thing, so let's just make a simple square box. And I'm a bit rusty. I mean, I've been out of it for 2-3 weeks, so who knows, you know? The length could be about 30 with maybe 25 and the height about 60. It's about okay. I'm gonna load the llama tools just for some simple things like centering the pivot and move that thing to this location. Alright, I kind of want to see the edges and just go with the flow, I guess. I have a basic idea of what I want with this gem, and I need to get that going. Select those edges again and chamfer them. Let's see. There seems right, and let's collapse these if it actually lets me. Why is my collapse thing not working? I'm pressing a few wrong buttons, I guess. It's not that button, and it's not shouldn't be that button. I wonder what I'm doing wrong. Wait. I think I accidentally changed some configuration when I did this last. Okay, found the button, I guess. Yeah, I was trying very weird new setups and I totally forgot about that. So at least I found it. It looks about right-ish. Selecting those edges again and then just connecting them. And we want to collapse the whole bottom. What does that look like? That could work. So I want these to be lower. A bit like that. And let's see. Maybe something like this. Yeah, that kind of looks like a gem-ish thing with a sharp bottom. And that could work. Make it a bit thin. Do you want to make this part a bit bigger so it's a bit more? Do we really need that? It does look a little bit more dynamic. Just gonna go with it, I guess. There. And we don't need any smoothing groups in this case, so I'm gonna just clear them all. There. So basically if you right click on one of these values in 3ds Max, it will change the value to 0 in most cases. So right click on this, 0. Same if you move something out of the way and you want to move it back to 0 real quick, right mouse click on it, there we go. Gonna center pivot again, and in this case, right mouse click just to show it off again. All right. So do I need anything else? I don't really need any specific UVs for this, I guess. It's not gonna fade out though. Do we want to make it fade out eventually? That might be a thing. But we can always go back to this. So static mesh is for VFX simple gem. There we go. Eventually I'll need some other things like clouds and whatever. But for now this is fine. So using Joss's export and import tools, I need a new location for this. So let's see. Art and design. Where do I normally store these tests? We can do it in tests, I guess. New folder and simple FX. I have no idea what to call it, so let's just go with simple effects. I already have Unreal Engine 4 open. This is still 4.16. I know I should probably update some that time, but there's no real reason for me at the moment. So let's make a new folder in here and just call it simple FX. And to find it more easily, I'm going to set a color. Let's do something interesting. I don't have a purple one, so that should, oh, I actually have. Make that color there. Simple effects. Remember that's there, Luos. I will. Called static meshes without the capital E. Now I've got that issue again. There we go. And let's grab the folder where this is stored. Art and design, giving a few seconds, tests. There you go. There should be a mesh in here, right? Go, for it in this folder now. And let's just drag and drop it. Wait a few seconds. Occasionally it doesn't want to. Go. Vertex color should be replaced. It isn't a skeletal mesh. I don't want any collision to be generated. I don't need light maps to import normal tangents. Yada yada. Everything seems to be alright. Import. Double check the thing. Thing's fine. I'm not gonna bother with all these settings for now. So, alright. Let's make a material. I'm gonna move it to a material folder in a second. Material for VFX and then call it simple gem 01. So it might be easier to have actually not called simple gem because it's probably gonna be the main master for a lot of the effects, a lot of the meshes. So VFX simple master 01. Maybe not the best name ever, but okay. 1 second. One of my bracelets has a magnet in it and it's keep grabbing all the pens in my neighborhood. Let's preview that mesh. Okay. Like I said, I want to keep it quite simple. So do we want to use unlit or default lit? It might actually be nice if it's backed by light, but for now, let's do very simple, low poly, low instructions, thanks. So let's grab a nice color. It's going to be a gem. It should probably be a bit greenish, right? Go. And I'm just going to plug it into the emissive color so we can see it. And since there's not much you can really do with this, we might want to have some Arnell. Just going to multiply that with the color and then adding it back to the color. And there. Let's preview it. That looks already much better though with the adding. Yeah, it loses that effect. So, let's see what we can change a little bit. Lower the base reflection, makes that a bit stronger. This feels a bit better, yeah. Three, four seems fine. Let's multiply it like by 10 before it goes in here. See what that gives us for a result. Might be a bit too shiny. Does give off that jammy feel-ish, but no, so we might actually be better off just going like this. Oh. I think this could be fine. Yeah, for now that's fine. So change this into a parameter called color. This will probably be the base for a lot of the things I'll make today. Not much else needed. Clean it up a little bit now. Let's see. We might want to change the particle color eventually, so let's just multiply that already. That said, we don't really need that color if we can just change it inside the particle. I'll probably update that in a few seconds. For now, this is fine for testing. Okay, make a new folder for materials. Move here. And a new folder for particle systems. And in that case, we need a particle system. I always do par. Some people use p underscore. Whatever you feel fine. I've seen people do this even, so. With Niagara, a lot of new things will be coming, so for now, I'll just use the old one I always use. Simple gem effects. Don't really need the effects part, but okay. There we go. If you want to see the floor, you can basically just do the geometry and you can hide and unhide it. Let's make it a mesh. Particle type data, new mesh data, and go to the content browser, find the mesh, select it, press this arrow over here, and you'll now have a ginormous mesh. Because the initial size is now different. Change it to a vector constant because we only need one value there. And as you can see, the mesh is now nicely moving. For now that's fine, though we want to change that real quick. I'm going to grab the material as well. And there are multiple ways to apply the material to this mesh, but generally if you don't need any really fancy things, you can just do it in the required node. And make sure that there's override material in the mesh data. There we go. Now we don't want this gem thing to look like this, of course, and I'm trying to move my keyboard a little bit, but there we go. Okay, that was a struggle. I'm gonna kill the initial velocity, that way it's standing still, but as you can see, it's still spawning 20. And I only need one, and I only need one at a specific time. So I'm gonna go to the required node. I'm gonna say that it only needs to be looping once. That way, will only on once, at least loop once, and go to the spawn rate. I'm going to kill the distribution because I don't need it to have a spawn rate. I just need it to emit once, and we can use burst for that. There, it spawns, and its lifetime for now is 1 second. This might be a bit long, might be a bit short, depending on what I need, but now it's just spawning like this, and that is fine. Initial size is fine as well. Color over life. Doesn't need anything specific, so I'm just gonna go with on there. There's no alpha control at all at the moment, so I'm just gonna do constant 1 there. Let's see what we can do with this, just this gem. I want it to be spawning quite high, like in the sky, and then just hit the floor, and from there I'm gonna model a few more meshes, see what we can do with very simple shapes. So, alright, let's go with a direct location. That way we can affect the location directly. Expand them all so we can actually see what's going on. There's location, location offset, scale factor, etc., but generally we only need the location. If you change this to a constant, you can already see that if I go like make it 500 high, then it spawns up in the sky. I'm gonna move the microphone a little bit. Might be a bit noisy, sorry for that. Alright, I can't barely see my keyboard, so yay. But let's see. Let's make it spawn quite high. 1000 up in the sky. And those rhymes are unintended. Might be a bit high, but okay. So what can we do to make that hit the floor? Let's make it a curve. That way we can change those values. We need at least two. One for in the sky, one for on the floor. And let's make that 1000 up in the high. And at the end of the lifetime, it's 1. And as you can see, now nicely moving. It's a bit slow, of course. And for now, that's fine. So it needs to be quite snappy, you know, going boom, bam, hit 4, and done. So, and we want it to stick in the floor for a short while. So there are multiple ways to do that. We can spawn another one that's actually stuck in the floor. We can just change the timing of this. And for now, I am not exactly sure which way I want to go. My first guess is just to spawn another gem at the same location that stands still. I could do some additional things like this. I can basically say that at O.5, it stands still for 1 second there. No? And that's basically it. And at the moment, it's very same-ish in movement. And it can be fine, but it would be nice if it slows. The movement is going faster as time goes by. So let's see if we can change something in the curve with that. Need to zoom all the way out. Go. And select those and then see if the curve helps. Does feel kind of the same. Now it slows down actually instead of going faster. We can see if there's anything that works a little bit, but generally this instant can be handy for some things. Latin Tanya, yada yada. Let's see. It's so annoying that this grid is. You can see, at least try to see. And I kind of wanted to move a bit more like this. And let's see if we can change the bottom one as well. Zoom out a bleed load. And that looks a bit better. It goes up a little bit, and that is actually might be fine. Because whoop, just gives that little bit of. It's not perfect. I mean, it just a happy accident. We can probably work with that. You can see it's moving upwards there. And well, we can change that probably. I'm actually fine with how far can we go make this go. Okay, that's a bit too insane. I can live with this. Okay, do we want anything additional? Because we can make it rotate or whatever. But it might be easier to have it stuck. Don't really see the rotational movement if you go that fast. I mean, I can show you. That's probably easier. Rotation rate. and let's do it only on the z-axis. As you can see it going, but it's just a little bit. It might add to some more dynamic flow. In that case, I kind of want to make it stop the moment it hits the floor. There are a few ways you can do that. The cheaty way could be a collision, the other collision. And on hit, freeze rotation. There we go. And the moment it hits the floor, it just freezes rotation. And that might actually be fine in this case. And see if it helps if we rotate it even faster. What is the feeling like? And slow it down for a second and see what's going on. So in this case, it might actually be interesting to see if we can have the rotation rate go faster over its life. So max rotation rate over life should be the one. Going all kinds of craziness at the moment. Does it look like in slow motion? I keep forgetting which one it is because at the moment it's already rotating on 5, so I might have the wrong one. Max rotation life times life should be the one, I guess. Expand all, make it a constant curve. Again, expand all, plus, and set the z to 1. Now it should be a bit slower at the beginning, but it's only marginal. Always some guesswork with this for some reason. It's kind of weird. Oh, obviously because this should be 1. So make it 2. That could work. Okay, normal speed now, so we can see what's going on. It's not really super selling it, but it does. It might help if it's not a full rotation. So okay, I can work with that. Now, as you can see, the direct location is stopping at half its lifetime. So I could basically just have its lifetime here. Nope. And change the direct location there. And for some reason it's going so fast now that it doesn't know what to do. In that case, I can be rather lazy. Go back to the half second and then just change the initial lifetime back to 1 again. Leap it. Works like this. I don't feel like fixing that issue at the moment. So go with the flow, do it like this. Alright, so we have something spawning. It's rotating, moving, hitting the floor. So what can we do? We can add some stuff to the spawning effect. Like why is it spawning, how is it spawning? And we can do something when it hits the floor, like smoke, maybe some rocks, pebble, that kind of thing. Since it's might be easier to start with the beginning, how is it spawning? We need some reason for it to spawn. It's gem. It could actually change size by life still. That might work. We can try that in a second, but we also need some element that makes it make sure I go to this location. So let's see what we can do with that. Let's add some size by life, see if that actually helps. And let's do a very basic one at the moment, just to see what's going on. Why is my tab not working? Go. It's still growing when it hits it, of course. But let's do it to 5. Okay, that looks. I'm not too super sure about that. That looks better actually. And we could add some small little wiggle-ish effect when it hits the floor. We actually can make it a little bit longer when it's moving to portray its speed. So we can do something with that. One thing we do know is that at 0.05, it ends. So we can have stuff in between that changes that. So if we want something in here, we can just go and press this and go to insert, and we have another one we can play around with. So at 0.25 perhaps we can try to make it a bit elongated, a little bit longer to portray that it's actually moving faster. In slow motion you should probably be able to see it a bit better. I'm going to make it a bit more exaggerated so you can actually see it. There, as you can see, it's already elongated too soon. You can only do that when it's really moving down, so we can actually probably have to insert another one at about 0.2. Maybe change it to about 0.33. There. And at full speed, this probably be 0.3. And we might need to change that to there. And because it's a bit longer, it feels faster. And generally, there's also this rule that if it's something gets longer, it should also become a little bit thinner. So we can actually play around with that as well. Reminds me of, oh my god, those noises, you remind me of the Game Grumps episode with people on the bike and the arrows flying about. Okay. Zip. That all looks fine to me. Now we could actually try something different and start with that. And as you can see, because it starts thicker and then grows, do it in slow motion. I need to change it a little bit, 0.255 maybe. And that might be 266. This works a little bit better if the pivot is actually at the top, because that way it's not changing sizes to both areas, but on full speed, you now get something like this. These work. Might be hard to see in full speed even when recording, so we slow it down a little bit. Apologies for the skipping all of a sudden, that's just something Unreal does itself, because loop is enabled. And you can't even really see that it's actually really becoming longer. Well, if I go slow motion, it should be more visible. All of a sudden it's gone. Oh, that's because that suddenly turned into 5.5. Okay, and full speed, that looks again. Freaking real. Okay, full speed. Boom. Boom. And it looks better because it's getting longer, in my humble opinion. Angles. Okay, so now we have this going. I'm gonna save everything because it's quite important. And I should have saved before, so this is the first time I'm actually saving things. Remember, save a lot and preferably also back it up. Use perforce or version control or whatever. No, actually perforce is version control, so use version control. Okay, let's do something with the beginning. We could have like a small spark going on and then maybe have some way of attention here. But I can't make any textures. But it's gonna be fun. New material. VFX. I guess I had a couple of them. VFX simple spark 1. There are a few ways we can still make sparks and whatever. There are a lot of things you can do in here. One of them is the diamond gradient. And I kinda like it. Both are the same. Basically I just changed some things inside this version, I guess. Yeah, what did I change? There might actually not be a real change compared to the other one. Oh yeah, I just cleaned it up so it's more readable. That's all I did. I like things clean even inside my material functions. Basically what this does, if I preview it, it gives me this. And that can be quite cool to play around with. A few other things are spheres, gradients. There's the Luos sphere mask thing, I guess. I only have this one, the distort. I guess I made some new ones in another project. Okay. Should I guess. What did I do with this one? That's all. Just some distortion information. Okay. What the hell did I do with all this? What else do I have? Luos circle, curvature, depth data, yada yada yada. I don't need all those. So many useless things. Do I have a radial? Radial gradients. Okay, let's see what all this does. There's actually a normal one, linear gradient or radial gradient exponent, I think. It's the same one. Yeah, there we go. In case you don't want to do that. I just added a few additional things to that. I'm going to show you something interesting with this one, I guess. Or with this one. No, this one doesn't have the center position, so I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use that one. So let's do something interesting with that. It's a bit expensive-ish, maybe, but might be helpful. And this is also for me just trying to find a way to get something going without actually using textures. So if I preview this, you can see that's a sphere. And I can actually change that center position. So let's say minus -0.5. Should work actually, but why are you not working? I'm previewing the wrong one, I guess. Normally your values are 0.5. So if I do 0 and 0, it should be at the top. There we go. And the hardness should be freaking hard for now. There we go. Now what if I make a few more of these? This one out of the way. Let's preview the second one. And instead of 0, let's do 1. Oh, 0 and 1. And this one is going to be that corner. And previewing this one. Usually it's going to be in the right bottom corner. Now what if I add all those together? I'm going to preview this one, of course. You get this. And now we're going to add those two together. Get this. Now if I add those together, you get this. And now if I invert that one, the 1 minus, you have this. And that's a nice sparky effect. It's somewhat like diamond gradient, which uses another way of math and whatever. And you might actually be able to combine those two. We might be able to play with that. Let's see if we actually what happens when we add this to that as well. And that can actually be quite interesting, as you can see. So a simple sphere gradient, another one of these might actually work for that as well. Let's see what the instructions are. 107 and 31 for trans opaque. And if I use another radial gradient without any math, 106. Okay, well, not really that super. In that case, let's just remove them for now. I think we can do enough with this spark. Now, we can make it translucent, or we can make it masked. In my case, I'm gonna go for masked first, because it's somewhat cheaper. Somewhat cheaper. And make it unlit. It doesn't need to be two-sided because it's gonna be a sprite, so it's always facing the camera for now. Anything else we need to know? Well, we can make it a bit cheaper by playing some of these things. Though, okay, I'm going to show it one time. Just these are minuscule things, not really super performant, impressive, whatever. But you can disable tangent space normals because you don't need it, because you'll reduce a few instructions, only a few. You don't need roughness, so if you set it to fully rough, we actually save a number of instructions and one sampler. And while it doesn't do that much, you can also disable use light map directionality. It's going to be a little bit more cheaper in some cases. If you use it for something else than you're normally used, so that much. You don't even see the changes in the stats, but it does seem to affect it a little minuscule little bit. Okay, I like my materials clean, so I'm going to clean them up a little bit. There. I know this is quite boring to look at, but OCD is OCD, and freaking wires. Okay. Faster, Luos, faster. Should have selected them both to be a little bit faster as well, but okay. Not too clean, freaking wires and whatever, but okay. So we also need to change some colors, of course. So we need a particle color. There we go. And I'm gonna multiply those together. And I don't think we need an opacity mask, and if we do, I'm gonna add some interesting effect to it. But for now, this is fine, I think. Yeah, I can live with that. I also need a simple ring. Actually, I need to set it to masked still, so opacity mask can go there, and the color can actually go straight into the emissive. So we can remove that multiply, do it like this. Okay, now there's something we can change if we really want to. I mean, out of 5, it looks like this. We can tweak it a little bit. But, yeah. Nah, it's fine like this. Okay, save it. And we need a simple ring as well. So, yeah, let's duplicate this one. So we already have those settings that we set in the details panel. And basically, we only need these now. delete. Let's preview them, of course. And in this case, the central position should be 0.55 for that one, and for that one as well. We just need to change the radius. We don't need the 1 minus in this case, so we actually do need it, but we need it over here. There. Now hopefully I did it right. We might need to multiply instead of add. I said I'm a little bit rusty after a few weeks of not doing stuff. So preview this one, that's a circle. Preview that one, that should be a smaller circle, slightly. There, and 1 minus. Preview it, there we go. Needs to be a very thin, nicely looking one, of course, so we need to play around with this a little bit. 0.455 maybe, 0.475. That looks thin enough. Now we can play around with it. We can actually make that radius a dynamic value to play around with some effects. For now this is fine. If I need to change them later down the road, then you'll notice it. Alright. Save it again. We don't need any opacity dissolving related things for now. I probably will change that radius from the second one so I can fade out the ring a little bit better. But for now these two are fine. Let's make a new particle sprite emitter and grab that material, this one. Place it here. Wait a few seconds and there we have the thing. So obviously it needs to start at where the gem is starting. So let's do that. Change the initial location to a standard 1000, and now it's spawning where the gem is spawning. So it's infinitely looping. We only need to loop once. We don't need the velocity at the moment. The lifetime we can probably change. I think I only need 1 in this case to spawn. So let's make it a burst of 1. And initial site needs to be quite a lot bigger. So let's see if 300 covers that. Might be a bit big. 200 maybe. 150 for now seems to be fine. Color over life. We need a nice color for it. I should have saved that gem color. So if you actually select this color there and you have this color picker menu, let's make a new theme. I'm gonna rename it to simple gem. And now if I drag it here, whenever I need the simple gem effects, I can actually select it here. There. So this is the normal colors and this is everything related to the simple gem. So if I go back to my particle system, which I'm going to drag all the way over here, and then change the initial color to 1, starts with that color. Now obviously it's going to change color in here, but I don't want that. So for now we can actually have a simple constant for that color. There. I want it to be a lot more brighter though, but we can do that in a second. First, what I'm going to do is save everything. Yes. All right. Now, what can we do? I kind of want to make this sharp a bit brighter at some point, but we can do that later. But let's make this brighter first. Now you can do that in color over life, but I tend to want to have a separate module for the brightness and generally use kill color life for that. So let's say I wanted to be extremely bright at the beginning. There we go. And I want it to be faster. It needs to only be like for snappy seconds, like way less than a second normally. Just to highlight and have your eyes focus on that location if you are at a distance. So I know that the lifetime is going to be a lot shorter, but I'm going to do that in a few seconds. I know a few other things I want. I want it to have a random rotation. So every time you respawn it, it starts a different rotation. I want it to have a rotation rate. And that one can be the same always. And I kind of want a negative rotation. And I'm going to retime that gem going down in a few seconds. So actually, after I finish this. I kind of want to stop that rotation a little bit as well. So rotation rate over life. And at the end of that rotation rate, it should slow down there. It's going to change a little bit more eventually, but for now we have a starting point. Okay, let's change the size by life. And for that, I also need to make sure that the initial size is initial lifetime is already a bit correct, else I'm gonna mess myself up. Because if I change the size by life now and it looks really nice, and I then need to change the initial lifetime, it's gonna be quite a mess because I need to retime everything else. So I'm guessing this needs to be very, very snappy, about 0.125 maybe. Maybe a little bit longer, 0.225. And that should actually be enough to highlight that this gem there. Okay, we need to change that gem spawning a little bit. Let's see. We might need a small delay of 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. Might need to retime it a little bit later down the road, but for now this is fine. Let's make sure that it starts really small. But I already want it to be big quite fast, so now I want this to be in front of the gem. So let's do a camera offset. Camera offset and just add it like 50 to it. Now it's in front of the gem. Because the camera offset actually in positive values it will move towards the camera. If I do like a negative 1000, it's going to be way, way behind the gem. If I do it 1000, it's getting much more closer until it's way beyond the camera. So let's do 50, it should be enough. As you can see, the gem obviously goes up a little bit. So, let's see, what can we do a little bit? I want to make the lifetime maybe a little bit longer. Oh, that's 3. And change the size by life. I might actually want to change the initial rotation to not do that, so that it actually always matches with. But yeah, how do I explain this? Basically, have that the pointy thing from the sprite actually have in the same angle as that gem. So, and since there's a rotation rate over life, we might need to tweak those values a little bit until we get somewhere where it looks identical, or at least crossed. That can also work. That, yeah. So it might be nicer if it's actually angled with that one. Now it's actually the bottom one is pointing towards the floor. That might work. Slow it down for a second to see how accurate it actually is. Going a little bit too far. -1.7. Still too far. 6.5. Let's see if that works. Okay. Now full speed. No. There. We can actually maybe perhaps move it up a little as well. So let's get an velocity, initial velocity, and just give it a very slight nudge upwards. There. Now it moves with the thing, though we might actually be able to turn off the camera offset now to match it. There. Let's actually, let me zoom in a little bit. We can actually see it better. It's moving upwards with that thing, with the gem. So just this small thing is not really enough to, it is enough in theory to actually make you look at it. But let's add something else to it that really makes you think, hey, you need to take a look at that. Let's duplicate this emitter after renaming it. So click there, then call it Spark 1 and call this one Gem. I need to be sure that my girlfriend isn't texting me because she wanted to buy dresses and wanted my opinion when she does. I should have gone with her, but I was like, I want to do particles. Okay. And that looks fine. Let's duplicate the spark. Right mouse click, emitter, duplicate, or in my case I also Ctrl W, but I wanted to show that you can duplicate it like this. And then let's get that simple ring we made. Or at least I made, and you might have remade it. I'm not sure. And plug it into the required here. And as you can see, that really already adds something interesting to it. But what if we actually make that like this and basically increase the size to double that? And you get something like this. Boom. And it really makes you wanna, even if you look at here, just look at this where my arrow is, my mouse cursor. The moment that spawns, your eyes really want to take a look at what's going up there. Oh my god, my English really wants to make you look at the top because hey, there's something interesting there. Let me take a look at it. And then your eyes immediately follow that gem down again. It's like, I want to look up here. Ooh, it's going down again. So this is like a really attention thing. Now we can add some additional sparks to it as well or whatever. But do we really need that? I think this is clean enough. But we can add a lot of sparks and maybe even something there, but I kind of want to keep it simple. I mean, I can add so many details and whatever, but it should be enough. We can actually start focusing on whatever going on the bottom. Because this looks quite fine. It's snappy, it's fast, not taking too long. So if it was like, you can't use this for an instant hit or an explosion, of course, but for a simple magic spell, this works. My eyes are focused on here. I'm going to move it down and I need something to hit this floor. So what do we want for that? I'm going to save everything again, of course. I do want to make some simple rocks, whatever, that hit the floor. And we also want some simple shapes that crash out of it, some sparks. And I don't like the cracks. I mean, I can make them, but they add a lot though. Let me think. I could use a light. I generally don't like using light in Cascade, but since it's just a simple test, it might work. For now, this is fine. Okay, let's make a simple cloud effect from when it hits, and then the rocks maybe. So how do I make a simple cloud shape effect? 1 second, let me save. Okay. I tend to be very lazy-ish when it comes to those kind of things, so I'm just gonna grab a cube-ish shape. There. And this doesn't always go right. 30 for that one. We get an editable poly. Extrude those a little bit. Like this. Change some shapes here and there. There. This one up a little bit. That one down a little bit. Apply some noise. So I'm gonna reiterate again, this doesn't always work the first time. And if it doesn't, then I should have probably done something a little bit more stable or always gives good results, but I like to play around. I like to goof off when I don't have time constraints, whatever, so. Keep it too scale-ish. And then I need a relax modifier. And hopefully gives me something that at least looks a little bit like a cloud that I can use. Not perfect at all. I need some manual things as well, but we can live with this, I guess. Let's see, anything else I see that I want to change a little bit. Usually I want to move the over to the center. Feels a little bit too elongated, so and I work with this. It's a very generic smoke. There might be a better way to do it, but I don't really want to. What does it look like when I add some generic white color to it? Yeah, we can work with this, I guess, for now. I mean, it's just showing off. You people can probably make a better cloud, spend more time on it. If I really want to spend more time on it, then I'm going beyond what I want to do in this video, so I'm going to change for this one a little bit. Make it a bit more round. Same with the bottom one. There. Try one more relax. And maybe a little bit of noise again. There might be people screaming at me now. Why are you doing it like this? And whatever, you can model it or... I know. Again, I like goofing off. Let's see what I can get. It would be so fun if we have this noise modifier like this in Cascade itself. I know you can make it in the shader actually, but okay, I'm not gonna do it like this. But okay, let's just keep it at this. Labs, in this case, actually need be one swilling group, which for some reason it doesn't show. It should, it doesn't. Edge faces. Why is that? I have no. Get away with those modifying faces, oscillators. Why is it showing like this? Why are you being annoying? There we go. So if it doesn't want to work in editable poly, which for some reason it didn't this time, you can actually do edit normals, select them all with Ctrl A. Oh. Select the normals and then Ctrl A, select them all, and then unify. And get something that looks okayish. Enough for a simple smoke cloud, at least in my case. And it looks good enough. I'm gonna center it one more time just in case and call it static mesh for VFX simple cloud 01. And I'm gonna export it. Go to the content browser, static meshes, import it through here. They've modified, so the newest ones are at the top. Drag and drop. Import all. And we need a new version of this material. Create material instance. And call it cloud or whatever. And it's a material instance, so MI, material instance VFX. Yada yada. Bit long. Change the vertex color. And we can go for full white or have a little bit of additional blue in it. Like 0.99. 0.99. Just a little bit. Something like that might work. So okay, that might work. Okay, and let's preview that static mesh. Not the smartest thing to always do because it can break when you migrate, but we have something like this as a cloud. It's a very simple shape. We probably need them remove polygons to make it look a little bit better, but if it's only about simple shapes, then something like that might work here. So first, I'm gonna rename this to ring 1 and add a new particle emitter. Again, we need the type data static mesh. Grab the cloud, override material, and get that material instance selected, and then just go to required and press that arrow. As you can see, they are way too big. Let's do something like 1 just for now, so we can actually see the size compared to the gem. It looks okay, so we might want some variation. So the maximum maybe 1.1 and the minimum 1.75 for now. You can always tweak it a bit later. Now we want it to spawn only once, of course. So again, an emitter loop. If you want to actually make a loop shorter, we can actually do the emitter duration like 0.5, and as you can see, it only spawns half of them. But for now, 1 is generally fine if you only use spawn rate, the spawn burst. And you can go select the constant and press 0 like this, but I am lazy. I tend to just do constant float again, and it's also 0, which is actually faster and involves a few less hand movements. So I'm lazy like that. And in this case, I might want to spawn 30, between 30 and 20. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll see. At the moment, you can't really see any of them. So let's add a location and then a cylinder. And as you can see, within a cylinder, it's trying to spawn a few of them. But we want it to be a bit more clean, of course. So let's tweak some values. We only want it to be on the surface, like this. And we don't really need the height. So the start height can actually be 0, or actually 1. It needs to be bigger than, I think, bigger than 0, else there is no height. So there. You can see it now always spawns in this nice cylinder. And another way to do it is just to disable the negative Z and the positive Z. There. So we need this to be a bit smaller, the radial. 10 should be fine. And we need to time exactly when it hits. So that should be at 0.5. So emitter delay of 0.5. Slow it down a little bit so we can actually see. Zip it. Tweak that a little bit. 0.6. And that feels fine, right? And make it go down even slower, of course. Is it? Okay, now it didn't spawn a freaking cloud at all. Oh. I hate when it does that. Okay, this feels fine. Now we want them to move outwards, of course. And for that we can use the velocity. And we need quite a high value probably. So somewhere between 20 and 40, let's see. There. Let's make it full speed. Doesn't feel fast enough actually. So let's do about 80. And you're like, yeah, but they keep moving. We can use a drag for that. So let's do an acceleration drag to make them stop again. I want to make them stop quite fast, so something like that. That works. And as you can see, there's always a case that there's big gaps and a lot of other things. So we might need to change that a little bit as well. But for now, that should work. I do want to have the smoke much bigger when it fades out, whatever, but let's add some variation to it before I start adding a seed for the way that expands. Okay. So let's add a rotation, initial mesh rotation, so that they're not all the same. You don't really need to tweak the values because it's already between 0 and 1. So 1 and 0 are exactly the same. You can't really expect it to be like something like this, but oh well, enough random, I guess. We also want them to rotate a random bit. We don't want them to rotate too fast, but not too slow either. I tend to do like something like minus 0.33 and 0.33. Okay, let's do the size by life. Let's think. They should start out very small, grow a little bit bigger, and slowly expand more. Start small, grow a little bit big. Let's do something like this for now. We might need to make them disappear again. So at 0.125, like an 8 in, they should be normal size. About half the lifetime, they should be twice the size. At the end of the lifetime, they might have to fade away again, something like that. Maybe start them at already some size, so that's a little bit better. I want the rotation rate to actually be a bit faster. So let's do -1 for now. And 1. I'm not really too happy with that size yet. Let's see. bit too big. And I don't really like how it shrinks at the end, so we might actually go with he's going back to 1. And then have some initial velocity going slightly upwards, like between 100 and 50. And then have a constant acceleration, slowly pulling them down, like minus 200. Minus 500 maybe. A little bit of guesswork. That could work. Now, as you can see, there are always gaps in there, and even with these many particles spawned, that might be annoying. Now, the one way, of course, is to just like spawn 120 of them, then it's always fine, as you can see. But yeah, you don't want to spawn 120 of them. I mean, you probably can get away with 30, maybe even 20 if you do it right. So what I'm going to do is actually go to cylinder, convert to seeded. I need some random seed. I'll just call this then random or whatever. And and then we need to find one that actually has a nice random seed. As you can see, it's now always the same. The gap is always here, the gap is always there. And it's actually quite close, and now it's just freaking guesswork, sadly. Until you find one that looks quite nice. 3 is nice, so we might want to record that name, and generally I just write that here then. Okay, 3 is nice. Let's check 4. 4 works as well. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I needed something very specific one time for this, and eventually I went through about 250 of them before I found one that was really interesting looking. Well, that could also work. I think we have enough by now. Let's do one more just to see if we need to go quite high in values. 14 actually could work. 15, 16, 17. Okay, let's add 17. 3, 4, 11, 12, 17. 3, 4, 11, 12, 17. Now it should always pick a different one, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, there we go. Now, obviously, it's actually a little bit too white-ish, the cloud, when it hits. You expect it to have a little bit more debris, the kind of color, you know, so you need to change the color a little bit. Generally, you can go with the darker color and then go brighter, or the other way around. So let's go with the darker color first. See how that looks. And it does look a little bit more like there's some debris, cloudish effect going with it. What also could help is to add a small light to the gem, and generally I want to do that through Blueprint, but for now let's see if we can actually do something fun with it. I'm not really a super fan of this all. Preview light radius, so we can actually see it. Very small. Where are you? Radius, let's make it like 100. 200. First square follow, no. Yeah, it stops way in the center, so I'm not sure if the lighting actually really is gonna do a lot. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Wish there was a lighting location offset, you know? That might actually help. Light, let's kill it again. We can always add one later. Basically, we could do something like this. Make it loop once, and then spawn freaking once. We don't need the velocity, we need the initial color. Initial color, there we go. Grab a light. And for now set the initial location a little bit higher than it should be. So let's say 50. We want to preview the light radius, which is quite big. And let's change the initial color to our nice green color. That's brightness of light, the radius scale. There. Obviously you want this to be attached to the gem and you don't want to see that small square. So what you can do is actually press these things in the middle. I don't see many people use them actually, and kind of sad that I mentioned this at the end of the Cascade lifetime, but if you just go click on them until you have the light, you'll only see the light one. There we go. And besides initial location, we need another location related thing, and that's particle emitter direct location, I think, or emitter initial location. Which one was it? Source movement, actually. That might also work. Let's do source movement. Where's the source thing? That's not the one I want. Location. Let's do emitter direct location. And give the emitter name gem. As you can see, it's now moving along this gem. And obviously, at the moment, it starts at the bottom. Because, how would I explain this? As you can see, it has the small flashy of the light. That's because this one actually has a delay of 0.1. If I add that same delay here, let's make it a little bit longer. It should not see at the bottom, but obviously, Unreal Engine, it does, for some reason. Even does it 0.3. I find that so freaking annoying. Maybe we can fix that in a few seconds. Another way. Oh, is it not picking up properly? No, of course not. I just don't have any words for that. Okay. Initial location should be at 50. Light. Can we change that? Brightness over live. Do something like that. Particle curve. As you can see, it spawns. You don't see it. And add O.2. Finally starts showing, and then brightness should be 32, I guess. Still moving along with the thing in the dead center, I guess. And it's not updating the initial location. Freaking hell. Luos with ideas. Okay, location. we can actually do a little bit different. Let's not do the direct location, not the initial location. Let's just copy this direct location from the other one. And make sure that the lifetime is the same as that one. And for some reason that's not updating. Why are you not updating? Seriously? Sure does not take directional light. Is that really a thing? Sometimes I just have no. Let me copy it one more time just to see. Yeah, it does not want to copy the light location. What the? Oh, Cascade, I love you so much, but I hate you just as much. Back to the location, damn it. Emitter, direct location. Gem. There we go. Location. We do a pivot offset. Let's see. It's weird that the moment you add a direct location, it's just like, eh. Kind of makes sense somewhat, but sorry about all the sighing and whatever. I'm just quite annoyed that I need to find weird workarounds to make this work properly. I mean, this should spawn at least 1,000 over it, even with the direct location enabled. See what else we can else do. Location. Initial location might not work. Sphere location, pivot offset. No pivot offset, of course. Initial location doesn't help either. What else can we try? Bone socket, direct location, and initial location. And just spawns there, of course. Add movement, probably only get that velocity thing, yeah. Okay, that's not gonna work either. So, guess I have to live with this. Now, I can actually do something slightly different. I can duplicate the gem. It's not really that cost efficient, but change the direct location, expand it, and then have this one on slightly higher there. You can see, and make this one follow that gem one. So gem 2. There. Now obviously this one does need to be a mesh. Don't need the mesh rotation rate. We don't need the extra collision, I guess. Or do we actually need that one? Yeah, we do need that collision, I guess. Else it's gonna go. Is it actually stopping? Yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, we can just make that invisible like that. I'm kind of surprised that it actually works like that. I'm really surprised that that works. Okay, we don't need the size by life. Do we need the color over life? We don't need initial size, I guess. No. We do need the lifetime, and obviously we need the spawn. We can actually remove that material from required there. Not that that helps a lot, but we can tweak that lighting a little bit. At the moment it's very, very bright. 50 here. Maybe even 20. And I want to reduce that radius. Just a little bit, you know? But that's fine for now. Don't need Cascade lights, we don't need the lighting channels. Freaking lighting channels. I think this will work. And we don't want to see that light radius preview constantly, so let's turn that off. Now, if we make that clouds lit instead of unlit, it actually picks up some of that lighting. That might actually be interesting. So, a simple master. Might want to change that to do I want a separate master material for that to tweak those values? I think I kind of want to do that. Let's see what that looks like. Save everything. I haven't saved in a while again. Frick me for that. Let's duplicate that one. And for now, simple master 2 is fine, because I'll remember it. Though it might be wiser just to name this one like lit instead of unlit. Default, as you can see, the instructions are quite higher now. And I want to just add that base color. There. As you can see, there's some affection of the light now. And I want to tell him to look at that master material here. So I just changed the parent, the master that instance is looking at. And if I'm correct now, be able to have some of that light affecting going on. Yeah. And that should instantly update it in the particle system as well. As you can see, it takes up a little bit of that green lighting when it hits. Alright, I need to open the door for the cat. Give me a few seconds. And in good cat fashion, the cat ran away instead of going inside of the door. Thank you, cat, for wasting my time. Alright, what else do we want to change in that master to? We can probably lower the Fresnel a little bit. There, that will also give it a little bit more oomph when it hits it's hit by the light. Is there anything else I can try? Well, I want it to be fully rough still, so there. Doesn't need normals. And anything else is just a waste of time. So that could work. Now when I'm looking at this, I kind of want to make the clouds appear slightly before the gem hits, because there's already pressure just in front of that gem hitting the floor, pushing everything else away, and it just needs to be very, very, very subtle. Since these are the clouds, let's change that lane required to about out of 5, I guess. just subtle, but it should be enough. And at the moment, clouds might be hiding the gem because it's quite small. You can try to actually make that gem bigger. See what that does for the result. It's too big probably, but let's do it on the 5 and see what that does. Kind of makes me feel like I need to increase that star a little bit. Let me think for a few seconds. Yeah, I want that spark to be a little bit bigger. Try 180. That works. The ring is still fine in size. I kind of want to have a ring when it hits the floor as well. So, and duplicate that one. Move it to the right with the arrow keys and call it ring to floor. I don't need any rotation. I don't need rotation rate. I can actually disable those here as well, because that ring isn't visibly rotating. Alright, and I need the camera offset either. Velocity can go. Location should be about 2, so it's there. And I want the axis to be aligned to the floor. So orientation, block axis, and then Z. There we go. Now we need to time this properly. That should be about out of 5. Out of 4 could work maybe. Slow it down. Out of 5 is probably better. And initial size could be a bit bigger because it should be about the same edge as the clouds, in my humble opinion. But everybody might agree with that. Maybe 500 will be enough. And a bit longer in the lifetime department. Though I therefore changed the left side of the cloud, so that might be a thing as well. Let's do O.6 for some of them, and maybe O.9 for two of the others. There's some bit more randomness in the way they fade out. Full speed now. That also works. I can live with that. Okay. Since that gem is located part of that light, I'm gonna call it actually gem light guide. Wonder if I could just put the light there. No. Okay, something is sticking. Permission required. Got to disable something. No. Something's lifetime is off. Ah, there we go. Now obviously this doesn't work anymore because I need to change that name again. Enter direct location. There we go. And we want to fade that light out again as well. So let's add another one to the brightness over light and change it to about 7. That looks nice. We might need to do something with the gem eventually, but there we go. I kind of want to make it shake a little bit when it hits that floor. See if we can do something with the size by life. Because when it hits, yeah, we can try something. Let's say 0.55 maybe. 1.1, 1.1, 0.9. And 0.6 should just be 1 again. You can see it wobble a little bit now, right? Let me slow it down for you. There. Okay, let's add a few small additional things to that. Plus plus. And at 0.65 should wobble again. We might want to increase the wobble of that first one, and at 0.7 it should just be normal again. Full speed. There we go. Let's change that first one to 1 to 2, 1 to 2, and 0.8. I know it's gem, it should be quite hard and not wobble, but it does give that additional feeling, you know? 0.8 maybe for this one. Let's see if that looks better. Nah, 0.9 is fine. It's just that little bit of soul. Some people might not like it. I actually do like it. Additional thing for the clouds. Slightly bigger max. Okay. So what else do we want? I kind of want some chunks that go fly upward. And maybe some rocks that just stick out when it hits the floor. Not sure how much time I still have. I'm already recording 1 hour and a half, so let's try to focus at 2 hours tops. Unless my girlfriend gets home, then I should probably quit because she keeps talking, and that's quite annoying when you're recording stuff. Don't tell her I said that out loud. Save all. And okay, some sparks, rocks. Let's do the rocks first. Something simple. So we have this weird cloud thing. Let's just grab another one. Preview the edges and just do a pro optimize. Calculate and make it like 12. Maybe even less. Come on, you can give me 8. Why is 38 the highest? You don't need the material boundaries. You don't need the normals. Come on, you can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 maybe. Okay, 12 looks like a nice chunk. Maybe 11 even. Just needs to be chunky, you know, just like a small shard thing. So that one works quite well. I'm actually gonna duplicate it one more time because I kind of want one that's a bit more thinny and almost like a real small fraction of that thing, and we can work with that one. So collapse both. Need to move those two vertices closer together, like that. And I probably want a from there to there, so I can have a little bit more shorty McShort effect. Okay. Simple gem shard 02. I need the other one. Come, there we go. 01. We need to reset both objects and we need to ensure that the pivot is at the center, though this one might be location. Need to be sure that all the normals are broken, so clear all, right mouse click on the 45 and then auto smooth. Works fine in most situations. The same one for this one. There, and we have two nice shards we can throw around, small chunks. Export selected for both. There we go. Okay. I need my content browser. There we are. Static meshes. Import all. Save all. We don't need much more than just a regular gem material, so we can probably use the cloud effect for that one as a base. So I'm gonna duplicate that one. Call it gem shard 1. Get the other mesh. So let's pick the big shard first. Change the material, obviously, to that one. And at the moment it's reacting like it's the cloud, of course. And we don't want that. So we need some additional things for that, but at least we have a starting point. Initial size needs to be much smaller, so maximum 0.5 maybe, and minimum 0.125 would probably be enough for. And for now, we can remove that cylinder because we want a half sphere. We don't have that, but so we just pick a whole sphere, disable the negative Z. There we go. And then apply a velocity. Negative C should be off. There we go. They're still a bit too big, but that's probably also because of the size by life. It's going over 1, so you need to change that. We want them to be quite small, a bit bigger, and then be big for a while, then fade out. So let's do something like that. 0.2, 111, and around 0.75. They should start shrinking again. That might work for now. And obviously we need a velocity. Do a uniform so that it's a bit more random, and let's try 20 and 40. And we might need a slightly bigger delay and a smaller sphere. So let's reduce the sphere size first to about 10. There. Constant acceleration, the minus 980 is somewhat the regular gravity in Unreal, so that works. And then we can start playing with the velocity. Let's try 120, see how far that those go, and 200 there. Now sometimes you want a bit more difference in heights and whatever, so you can also add a initial velocity to that. We can tweak some values there, like this gives some additional randomness occasionally. Rotation rate should be fine, though it's quite a heavy impact, so the rotation might actually be a lot faster. So let's increase that rotation rate, and that will result in more random fast rotation, as you can see. There. do think that the initial size might be a bit too big still, so. And there's something wrong with this flashbang live or something. Mesh data import. Gemshot 1, yeah, that should be not this lengthy in some cases. But yeah, it can. Yeah, let's see if we do extremes, what happens. That's weird. It shouldn't be this very expanded thing. This is square, there's nothing weird. There's no size by speed. That's a bit of an odd thing. Set object. Hmm. I'm thinking. It shouldn't be that stretched. Let's see if it helps if I re-import it. Save everything, save, re-import static mesh. Still very stretchy, that's really weird. What if I do initial size with just 0.33 just to see that works? Okay. Now let's do it like this. Okay. Might actually be the mirror flags that are messing up again. I wanna check that real quick. Oh, now they are not stretchy anymore. That's really odd. Okay, I can live with this. And I need another gem shard, so Control W in my case. Might not work for you, I'm not sure if I set that up myself or that it's one that's already inside of UE4. Change that mesh to the other gem. We might actually change the spawn rate. So let's say we want a maximum of 25 of these and a minimum of 15. So that way it's always a little bit more different. And for these, we kind of want to have a little bit more because they're smaller and a maximum of 15 as well. And these I kind of want to move a little bit more cylinder-like. So I'm actually not sure if that sphere with the top cutoff works. Let's see. Somewhat does. Waiting for the delay to happen is kind of annoying. Yeah, everything falls in per second, of course. This should help with that. Yeah. I don't want any additional influence from those. Okay, I want to do something different. Let's say we have a spawn rate of 40, a rate scale of 2. Still not high enough. 5 maybe. And an image duration of 0.1. That way it's like the gem is crumbling a little bit under the, not all coming out at the same time, and that should result in something like this. Full speed. barely visible, but it's just kind of want to make the chunks bigger, these ones, so let's go back to those. Maybe a little bit too big. That's better. Now I put, let's see. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Can I change the delay of that? Delay amount. Okay, 5 and 3. Collision, halt, yeah, that's not fine. Applied physics, no. Particle mass, let's change those a little bit. 0.1 and 0.3. Wedge factor is fine. The delay basically makes sure that the collision starts, the actual collision starts at 0.125 into the lifetime. That way it's not gonna be stuck behind that gem or the clouds, which helps. So in slow motion you might actually see it getting stuck on some of the clouds maybe, but I actually can give it a little bit longer lifetime for some of them. So let's do 0.7 for those and 1.25 for them. That way you can see those parts hit around a little bit like that. Alright, so we have some shards hitting, gem hitting the floor, which still needs some small details, a ring, some shards flying in the sky, or at least shooting off of it. Here's some clouds going there. We have that small sparky thing over here. What else can we do? I think the only thing left to do is make something interesting that hits the floor around the gem. I'm not too big of a fan to make those just quite long to make them already almost at 2 hour mark, but okay, let's make that the last thing we do. Save everything, of course, and we increase the size to about 150 of the gem, which might actually be interesting. So here's that gem. I'm actually gonna make a duplicate of it there, and increase the size of this one. Are you to 150 to match the one that we had in the engine? Okay. Make some simple rock things. We can use that one maybe for part of it. We can make a very simple shape just from some squares. I'm thinking, let's just go with this first. Do something like this. Need to rotate them a few seconds, but for now, fine. You can actually move those away for now. Maybe it's just a little bit. I don't want you. Things to say to your meshes and not to relatives. Come on, why are you not giving me that one? There we go. I gotta say, Personally, I'm really not a fan of the whole new Gizmo on 4K thing on 3ds Max because it's such a fiddly little annoying twerp. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just bad luck with my mouse in combination with these, but I find the selection very meh. But okay. Enough complaining. I don't like complaining. Do it a lot, but I still don't like it. We rotated most of them. There. Maybe one more here. Make it a bit more even-ish. There, that could work. Yeah, that's fine. So we have that. I'm gonna really move you out of the way for now. Now we could add some additional gem spikes, maybe something that causes a hit or whatever. That might be interesting. I'll think about it while I'll butcher this. In theory, I can just attach them all together. Attach there. What about the polygons we won't see? I know. We can remove them, though it's not really super mandatory. I mean, it's just maybe 2, 3 max per object, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Yeah, worth it. One thing. Where's statistics? Total plus selection. Apply. Okay. I mean, this is only 162 polygons. Nothing to worry about. Not even on mobile, to be honest. Okay, simple gem. Around 01. There might be a few more. For now, this is fine. Reset the objects. The pivot, though, needs to be exactly at 0. Go. And since the gems rotate a little bit on hit, we might need to fiddle around a little bit with the initial rotation. But we'll get there once we get there. All right. Import that weird thing. Oh wait, I have to thing back to here. Simple gem ground. Go. Import all. And for that we need another material. This one is actually now Simple Master 02 instance. And we can actually duplicate this one. Instead of cloud, call it ground. And give it a nice brownish color. And just to see what it looks like, let's grab that mesh for preview. In this case, we actually might not really want that for now. Let me think about it quick. And meantime, I mean, a little bit of it is fine, though. Let's go to that master. It's a multiply of 5, so let's get a scalar. If you hold down S and left mouse click, you get a scalar parameter thingy. And let's call it Fresnel strength and initial value of 5. So it's already identical to the one we had. That way we don't have to change the other ones. There, that updates, and now we can add that here and lower that for now. Minus 1000 because I want to see what it looks like. Just one is fine. Okay, back to the particle system. Let's see, is there any mesh data? Yeah, from those. I'm thinking what's the easiest way to duplicate the cloud gem shards. Let's just duplicate the cloud for now and call it gem ground and get that mesh data going there. And that looks horrible, of course, but that's fine. We only need to spawn one now. And in required, we need the ground one. And it's moving all the way there because it still uses the cylinder to drag. Initial rotation we might need, initial rotation rate we don't need. We might not need the size by life the way it is, so we just do constant for now and do a 1. At least see what's going on. Initial velocity can go, constant acceleration can go. Actually, constant acceleration might be interesting, to say the least. And initial mesh rotation we might need to tweak with. The lifetime should always be 1 second or so. And kill the constant. Okay. I think we need to rotate it about 0.25. Okay, that's the start. Now we want it to grow when it hits. And that should be about 0.5. And let's just go with the flow, I guess. And all. Okay, so starts out flat. X and Y are actually already the right size, I guess. Can make it maybe shrink a little bit. In 0.1 second, it should be the normal size, which should probably last to about 0.7. 3/4 in, and then it needs to shrink again on the Z. Let's just start. Let's think. I want to see it in full slow motion from the start. Come here, Jemmy. Okay, it should be a little bit later. Now the waiting game begins. That works. But it needs to move a little bit along with the gem. Just a little bit. So I'm going to insert 2 here at 0.2. Should perhaps do 1.1, 1.1, 0.9. And at 0.3 to 1 again. Let's see how that looks. I actually need to look a bit more proper at it. That could work. It's just that small little wobble that just adds something to it. So the lifetime needs to be a little bit shorter, and I kind of want to do that with the constant acceleration. Though we might need something else for that, and that is acceleration over life. So maybe let's try that. About 0.5 in. Okay, 0.5 for you. And 0.75 for you. That works. Luos, what about the gem itself? Well, I'm thinking to do the same thing with the acceleration and life actually, so let's see if that works. I don't think it might work because it uses a direct location and that might mess it up. I mean, we can try O.3. Minus 5,000 should definitely show something if it does. If it doesn't, you can see, so we might need to just go with adding something to the direct location. Let's add one to it. Let's just do one for now, I guess. And then minus 100, so it slowly moves down. I was afraid of that because it messes the actor collision, of course. I'm afraid that that won't work. Well, we used to have, oh yeah, the rotation, but it's actually quite visible. Just a little bit, but thinking real quick. What will be a cheap another way to do it? I wish you could disable modules halfway through, but that's not a thing. Oda 6. I just want to see if it helps if I just add another one to it. Yeah, because of that actor collision, it messes up. So, see. If you can keep it to O.5 to O.8 at 0. Maybe at the ending and get it to minus 100. Let's try O.75 for this one. We don't need minus 100. We can probably go to minus 20 or so. Right? Better. This might be. We can probably just change that lifetime from this to a little bit. Kind of want to see what happens if I do like 20 for this. Okay, that works. I could have made it up from an angle, of course, and that kind of thing. And I should make the impact separate from this thing, the gem. That way, you could use a blueprint and make it shoot from an angle and then have the impact effect separately. So that's always the same. I'm just making them one emitter because it's easier at the moment. If I went with blueprints or an animation, I would probably keep that starting point, that spawn and hitting the floor, separate from all the other effects, so that it can go from an angle and then still have that effect. And maybe you have the clouds move in a different direction, whatever. But For now, this is fine. Right, well, 2 hours and 10 minutes. What else do we want? I do kind of want to add one more thing to it, just for funsies, see what it will look like. Save everything, and let's grab another duplicate of the gem. Okay, make it a bit thinner. There. Rotate it a bit more cleanly. On 8 degrees for now. Make it a bit more spiky. And even more spiky. Like this. We don't really need the bottom, but let's just keep it there so that might help the floor just a little bit. Get the pivot about there. Okay. I don't want it to be even just a little bit thinner, even something like that. Okay, I can live with this, I guess. Reset the object. So let's do another cut here. This is just the connect button on the keyboard. So if I just select these, connect, R, just to have a little bit more shape to it, just a little bit. Okay. Now I could probably just place them all around randomly myself in Max, but I kind of wanted to try in Unreal Engine first. But this is going to be gems that are spiking out of that thing. Should I do just one mesh, three meshes, or okay? Just gonna use this one first and see if that works. I'm gonna give myself 20 more minutes. Export selected. Okay. Content browser. Go to meshes first. Import it. Import all. Save all. Let's see. Make a new particle system. Type data. Static mesh, of course. Let's grab that spike. And for required, we need the master gem material. It's gonna be freaking huge, of course. Come on, load the texture. Oh wait, I forgot to override it. There. You can see it's way too big. So let's change the initial size with a maximum of 1.1, 1.1, and 1. Maybe 2.5. There. Now we don't want initial velocity. We do want initial rotation, but just a little bit. I'm not sure it's gonna work perfectly, but might not work the way I want it, but we'll see. Initial mesh rotation. So Z should be totally rotatable, but we don't want this to be a full rotation. And let's see, it's all the top. 0.2. There's this. It looks fine. And size by life. Should grow quite quick. So small, quite big, wobble, 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 wobble. So at 0.2 they should be normal size. Actually, like that. 0.3. This is just guesswork at the moment, so at 0.4, at 0.5, 0.9 again, 0.9, 1, and at 0.6, just 1. Okay, it should loop only once. There should not be a spawn rate, so it could be funny. And let's just spawn 5 for now. And for that we also need a location cylinder. No negative C, no positive C. Now I was kind of worried about there's not a really good way to angle them out. So yeah, this is going to be totally random unless I'm going to play around with a lot of seeds. That's not something I want to do, so I'm going to do it slightly different, I guess. Move them up a bit, slightly lower. And let's see. Am I going to be really lazy? I am going to be really lazy. Just a small loop in here. Nah, never mind that. Okay. Let's move about 7 to give me the freaking gizmo thing. 3, 4, 5. Something like that might work as well. I might want to have them closer eventually, but I want this one here because it's the right size. And then just rotate them a bit accordingly. I just want you in my view. There. They're a bit outwardsy. This one can use some rotation on as well. That looks somewhat fine. I do want to have them all in different scale. That way there's some additional randomness to it. And just in case, move those away now. Okay, 10 more minutes, then I need to finish this. So I'm gonna attach that, this, that, and that one. Simple gem 2, I think. Double check the static meshes. Yes. Oh wait, the pivot was wrong. Back to the pivot only. and change that to the right location. There. Export selected again. Re-import. That's already way more intense than I want it to be. But now we only need to spawn one, maybe two, though we don't need the initial mesh rotation anymore for X and Y. There. I don't like the wobble the way it is now. Though we can tweak that quite fast. I don't know, I don't want to shrink them. And these ones should probably be about like that. And have some initial constant acceleration going down eventually. I think there was acceleration live that did that. So let's do this at 0.75 and that 1 on 1. Let's do 0.9. Might need to tweak that a little bit. Okay, the size by live. 0.5, 0.5 for that. And the delay should be about 0.55. Okay, yeah, the wobble is way bad. Needs to be way faster, at least. So let's do 2.5. 0.3. 0.35. And 0.4. I don't like the double wobble, but I think one is enough in this case, so let's just delete those for now. Wait a second. 0.2 should be 111. And I need to insert one in here before that. That's like 0.8 maybe. And the lifetime should be a bit shorter. 0.8 maybe. I kind of wanted that it hit, not at the same time when it hits, so maybe 0.65. It's kind of funny. It's not really necessary, but okay, 5 more minutes. We can add a few more. Spikes. Just because it's funny. Okay, let's make at least one more. So we had this one. I'm gonna rotate it for a duplicate, like that. And then just move them all out a little bit. There. There. Come on. Got 5 more minutes, need to hurry. I'm gonna rotate that one a little bit. There. And I want you all to be a little more outwards. I think that's about fine. Well, it's simple gem 03. We can make him a bit bigger as well. So let's do that real quick. Does local work? Local, or just a little bit. Front view, make sure that they are not local anymore in this one. There. Active. Export selected. Okay. Now there are ways to combine all these meshes together in one, but I'm not gonna bother with that this time. Oh, not double click on FBX, please. 3ds Max is a total whiny little annoying twerk when you open multiple 3ds Maxes. It can delete all your custom settings. And it's trying to open one. Oh well. We're gonna bother with that the moment this opens here. So we have another spikes. We're gonna duplicate it. Call it spikes 2. Need another mesh data. And we need another delay. So let's try 0.75. Get away, Max. I hate you. I'm not too happy with the way the second one moves. Size by life. I kind of miss the sound, like ching, ching, ching. Like just a glass sound and then clink, 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 you know? I have 2 more minutes, so I should probably call it quits. What if I change the initial size to like 0.5 here? Kinda want to make it faster, like 0.625, maybe 0.7. Doesn't feel powerful enough yet. So it's fine that there's a delay, though it's maybe too much of a delay. Let's do some last minute tweaks. And in the size by life, I kind of want them to be much more boom. Yeah, that might work. So it needs to be a bit more fluid. So let's go all the way. I want to make sure that this is the size by life that I'm editing and not the other one. There, and then just do auto curve. Feels better already. Same for this one. Select them, auto curve. That's more than enough for now. Okay, 1 minute left. Let's do something with the lifetime. 7.5. This one needs a bit more. Let the auto delay lifetime. Oh, that's 7.5 as well. And we need one last thing for the acceleration and life. Oh, that 7 for this one. acceleration constant of minus 100. That's a nope. Kind of feel like this is not doing everything it can, so let's do minus 2000 maybe. Minus 10,000. Minus 5,000. Okay, let's just keep it at this. Alright. I think 2.5 hours is more than enough for an effect. So there we go. A gem that hits the floor, some weird spike effect, some light that's actually lighting up the environment. And that's about it. Let's do it full size one time. Okay, I think that should be it. And in case you watched the whole thing, thank you for watching. Have a good weekend or a good week, and take care. Luos out.